Welcome to the Fight Game with Icewater and Puma. We're going to talk about a number of fights. Of course, the upcoming fight with Haney and Lomo. But we want to recap some of the other fights that we were watching while we were away. I know the Canelo Ryder fight. Canelo didn't look too good in this particular fight, and he says he wants to fight Bivol under the same conditions, and I think it's going to be the same results if he fights him. Your thoughts on that fight, man?
Yeah, well, yeah, as I mentioned to you before, Canelo was coming out the injury, right? The last time when he fought Triple G, he was hurt. And I think he had surgery to repair something. And when he came back on Cinco de Mayo that weekend, that was more of a tune-up fight. And that was a fight to help him get the rust off and get healthy. Okay. I said that from the beginning. Even after he got hurt, I said he's going to fight May 6th, and they're going to use that as a barometer to see how healthy he is. And then they're going to build to try to get a bigger fight in the fall, which they're doing now. They want the Bivol rematch and trying to do the whole thing too, where they're trying to get Bivol to drop to like 168. So they'll fight at 168. So they feel like he has less power. And then Canelo can do what he normally does. It's going to be an interesting fight from that standpoint. But that's why he's trying to set everything up so it works in his favor. A lot of people are calling Canelo out, but it's like anything else. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Even Charlo went far as saying, hey, two undefeated guys or, undefeated champions, at least, top-notch champions. Let's go ahead and let's get this on now. So it's going to be interesting how that worked out. But he did not look good. Again, I think they knew that coming out. They used the fight because it would be easy for him to kind of get tuned up and get ready for a major promotion coming up in September.
Yeah, because for a tune-up fight, he was taking a lot of punishment. This was a tough guy from the UK, and it just seemed like it was going to be a slam dunk for Canelo when they first announced it that it wouldn't go the distance. But this guy was game, and he was there to take punishment and give it out. And you could just see at the end of the fight. And when he said he wanted to fight Bivol, I'm like, dude, you just barely got through this fight. And how are you going to fight Bivol? It's not like Bivol is going to be, frozen in time and not improve when you try to come back and fight him. But there's another fighter on the horizon. He's a middleweight champion, Jennebeck, Buddy McGurk's guy. And I saw him fight over the weekend. He had a better performance than his previous performance. And he's calling out Charlo and Canelo for the middleweight championship. And he says these guys are scared to fight him. He is a knockout puncher. He has that power in his punch. What are your thoughts?
He's improving every fight. I'm glad for Buddy because, that's our guy. I'm seeing him improving, but I think, slowly but surely. I mean, I feel you win the belt. Now you calling out the big dogs, but I don't know. That's a lot. You're asking a lot for him to jump right away. I think if he would take the opportunity if it came up, but I think he still needs some work. Because when you get in the room with Charlo and Canelo, you got to be ready. You can't come in there dancing and going, well, I thought I left my resume in the car. I'll be right back.
Right.
You got to be better. So I like his aspirations, and I think he should keep climbing up the ladder, and he'll probably get a big shot somewhere down the line. But right now, it's still early for me in that standpoint.
All right. Fight we've been waiting for coming up this weekend, Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko. And I'm very eager to watch this fight. I'm going to put everything to the side, get my wings ready, all this other stuff, because Devin Haney is one of my favorite fighters that is in the fight game right now. And also Lomachenko is one of my favorite fighters. And this is a fight that had to happen. Devin Haney looks hungry. He looks like I need to put this guy on my record as a win. And Lomachenko is saying, you know what? I've seen it all. I've done it all. This guy is not going to surprise me, and I'm ready for this fight. What are your thoughts on this fight? And if you will, sir, give us your prediction of this fight. I know because you were dead on in the last prediction. Folks want to hear it, so let's go.
Y'all just want me to be wrong. The hell with all y'all. I'm just playing. All love, y'all. All love. Great matchup. Devin Haney really wants this fight. He's been wanting for a long time. Apparently, 4 years ago, he was calling out Lomachenko, and Lomachenko wouldn't give him the time of day. He said, you're not a champion. You don't have nothing. They talk about that when they ask, and they're like, no way. And then, of course, Devin Haney had to do it the hard way. He had to go the tough way and go back and grab all of the belts. So he's undisputed now. Then, of course, Lomachenko's like, yeah, I'll fight you now. So he's not going to hear the end of that. Style makes fights. Beautiful thing about this is you got a young, devastating boxer in Devin Haney. And the one thing that we've been waiting on for him to be truly tested, and this guy that he's fighting is a master of illusion and deception. And, you know, he has a little pop still left. So I love it because to see a man, another guy that can match or even outbox Devin Haney is going to show you a lot into what the future holds. Because you're hearing about these other fights like possibly with Shakur Stevenson and whatnot. You get a chance to finally see him in the ring with a guy that may be a little older, and Lomachenko that is, but he's going to be bringing some very similar type of things. And some people are even picking Lomachenko to win this fight. And I found that very interesting because I think Lomachenko is going to get up for this fight like he has never before. And the question is Devin Haney that special? Mm-hmm. Is he as special as we saw? Is he really that special? He said he is. But now we're bringing these two together, some real talent, mano a mano, and we're putting it together. And I love it because this is what more boxing needs more and more. Boxing needs more and more of this. So with that being said, wow. Styles makes fights. I think that the early pace is going to dictate this fight, right? The one thing that has to happen is, and I think as whoever gets to jump out first, who controls the fight early, I think wins the fight. And the thing that has to happen, I think Devin Haney has to literally make things happen early. And I mean just by boxing, he has to score. If Vasily Lomachenko gets behind, I don't see him coming back. I don't see him recouping. But Devin Haney's been known to start slow. So, hell of a fight. So, you want my prediction. Here we go. I think Lomachenko is a dynamite. He's a legend in that area. But I just think unless something crazy happens, I think he may not be the same dude he was. And I think that Devin Haney, if he is really polished like we've seen in the last couple of fights that he's won, I think he can use his boxing talent and his movement, his agility, and his speed to outlast Lomachenko. I don't think it's going to be a knockout. I think they're going to go a long time. It probably will be a distance, but I think it'll be a unanimous decision by Devin Haney. But if Devin Haney is not capable, is not the guy we think he is by where they've been chopping him up, what we saw with Boots Ennis kind of got surprised a little bit by older guy. If he doesn't come in full circle and be dominant, Lomachenko is going to cause some problems. Because the one thing he does is he's a master of angles. First you see him and you don't. My only thing is, though, and why I'm picking Devin Haney is because I'm not sure if Lomachenko still has that pop left. And that's what I'm looking for, that pop. When you get that opportunity, can you really hit that chin and make the young man pay when he makes a mistake? That's why if it moves forward, I would say Shakur Stevenson over Devin Haney, because as much as they think Shakur Stevenson has pillow hands, he punishes you with that pop coming back. So you make a mistake, you gotta put somebody on notice. And I just don't know if Lomachenko has that. And we don't know what Devin, I've been skeptical about Devin the last couple of times, and he stepped up. But this is a different level. This is a different step. And I'm proud of him because of the factor that he says, I'm not leaving 135 if he wins this fight until I see Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. Now we are talking. That's legacy. That's grown man stuff. That's what boxing's all about. I'm not going to 140 until I take care of these guys. Gervonta Davis is on the same thing. Chris Stevenson is on that too. So I think the fighters alone are going to give us what we're finally looking for in that division or in that area. And I love it because that's what it used to be. There was never a time where, Hagler fought Hearns. Hagler fought Sugar Ray Leonard eventually. Hearns fought Sugar Ray Leonard, right? We have all these guys that should have fought. Duran fought several guys. The only fight I mean, the ones that should have fought one another for the most part, except for Aaron Pryor. I think they thought he was too small. I don't think Sugar Ray Leonard wanted nothing to do with Aaron Pryor. That's another day.
Maybe we'll talk to him one day because that's what I want to find out too.
He be like, you think I was scared of him? He give you that look, yeah, look. Ain't nobody scared of Aaron Pryor. But Aaron Pryor was like the only dude that I know that literally gave Thomas Hearn the business in the amateurs.
Yeah.
Gave him the business. I was like, how you do that? But Aaron Pryor, that's who he was. But anyway, getting back to this, I'm looking forward to this fight. Hopefully it opens the door for so many other things. But Lomachenko, Haney, I think it's to open the door for that. The winner goes a long way. I just don't know where Lomachenko will go after this. I just think his age is going to, we've seen him great and we've seen him mediocre. He's been around. He's come back off a couple fights off of the war now. He should be ready to go. If we need, whatever his effort is, Lomachenko that is, this is going to be his best effort. He's going to show you who he is. And if he still doesn't have the pop, he still doesn't have the ability to punish and outmaneuver, then we know that age is really creeping in, right? But if he does step up and give Devin Haney problems, then we have a lot more to look forward to. That's my only thing. Has he been away for so long and then losing to Teofimo Lopez and things of that nature? Does he have enough to go up against one of the top talented young fighters in boxing today?
Yeah, because this is youth versus experience. I think Devin Haney's 24 years old. Lomachenko is 30 or a little above 30. And I just see Devin Haney's speed. He's 24, but he has more experience than most 24-year-olds. His dad made sure that, making him go down to Mexico and just go through a murderous row of fighters down there to get that experience to fight in any environment. And I remember when Lomachenko won his last fight, Devin Haney stepped into the ring, and you could just see Devin Haney was just much bigger than Lomachenko. And Lomachenko even made it a point like, man, this guy's a heavyweight. This guy's not on in this weight class. So I think maybe the strength, the speed of Devin Haney will really kind of be an impact on this particular fight. Whether or not Devin Haney can turn Lomachenko and get him out of rhythm. One of the things I love about Lomachenko is that he's a rhythm fighter. He uses feet and angles really well, and he usually twists up fighters that aren't used to those angles and that movement that he has. But you said something very interesting. Does he still have the pop and the punch? Does he still have it at the age of 30? He's been through many wars. One of the wars he was in with Lopez, and when Lopez was able to, get him, that really kind of changed my opinion on Lomachenko about fighting fighters who can catch up with his rhythm, who can turn him. And even though Lomachenko, I think he was supposed to be hurt in that fight, his hand was hurting or something was hurting in that fight. He wasn't 100% according to him. It just gave me a little bit of a look that when he kind of stepped up in competition, those fighters were game, and they weren't afraid of him, and they took it to him. So I'm going to predict that a TKO in the 11th round. I think it's going to almost go to the 12th round. I think Devin Haney, he's a little bit to me like Tank Davis, where he kind of figures you out. His dad in his corner figures you out, gathers the data, and seeing what he's doing, and eventually catch up to the rhythm of Lomachenko. But I'm going to predict a TKO in the 11th round, where Devin Haney can get to him, use his power and his pop to get to Lomachenko. And Devin Haney's been talking about, I'm going to end this guy's career. He doesn't want to go out. I'm going to put him out. And so I tend to believe this young man when he steps up and says, he's very quiet, but when he says something, he eventually means it. What impressed me is that, when he fought for one of the belts there, he had to go overseas to do it. And the guy was like, hey, if you win, you're going to have to come back over here for a rematch. And he's like, no problem. So nothing phases this guy. I don't think what Lomachenko is going to bring to the ring is going to phase him. And TKO Haney in this particular fight in the 11th round.
Wow, that's big time right there.
Yeah.
You knock
I have to step up because you're predicting the round and everything on this show. I got to step up on the show.
Hey, you knock out a legend like that too. Woo! So
This dude talks about, hey, I want to end his career. This is where his career ends, right here. And of course, him staying at 135, I want to get to all these. I don't think he's going to let Lomachenko step in his way to get to Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. He wants to, those are going to be big money fights.
yeah.
I think he wants to set his ducks up in a row. But if he's going to 140, then he has to. This is the first step to that.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, and you're right. This is it. This is an opportunity for him to step up because it's a major moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand going over there and fighting again, but I mean, he clearly outclassed the guy, and Kambosos. And Kambosos, ends up doing what he has to do, taking out Lopez, right? And Lopez beat Lomachenko. So, but you can jump on it that way, or you can look at it that way, but you got to realize styles make fights. And Lomachenko's been in there with some of the best, and he's pretty solid and tough. Like I said, I just want to see, does he have that pop left? Does he still have enough to kind of give Devin Haney the business? And the one thing you have to do is, even if you're not the strongest guy in the world, you got to get Devin Haney's attention. You got to hit him. If you're going to try to dance with him and bounce around and try to outbox him, more likely you're going to lose.
Yeah.
So at some point, you got to put some leather on him. You got to touch him. And if you don't touch him, he clearly probably would outbox you. You might try to do well because you're older and still try to stay in it because you might be a masterful boxer, but you got to put some leather on it. You got to touch him up. You got to try to beat him up at some point. And I think that's why a Tank Davis Haney fight would be amazing for me. I would love that fight. I would love to see that because you talk about the contrast in styles, and Tank Davis has gotten better every fight. And I think people are really underestimating the patience. And I think what we're seeing through Gervonta Davis is the factor that he's been working a lot, I think, with Floyd Mayweather, because you see the patience. You see him now come to the ring and going like, okay, now we're going back and we're going to do this. And now he's executing. He's not just a bulldog, pit bull going after somebody. He now really is more calculated. And I think a lot of that has to do with his trainers, but I also think they thrive off the fact that he's working out of, Floyd Mayweather's gym, probably do some private sessions.
Yeah. He's Icewater. I'm Puma. Enjoy the fight this week. And this is the Fight Game.